Welcome to the Trews Amy review. This new film about Amy Winehouse has come out.
Singing has always been important to me, but I never thought, oh, I'll end up singing, I'll be a singer.
Obviously, I knew Amy, and I don't know if I've mentioned it, I'm a recovering drug addict myself. The film brought up a lot of emotions for me and probably anyone with addiction issues, anybody who loved Amy Winehouse. What it did for me is it dragged up the feelings of sadness that Amy Winehouse died, and that there's something about deaths from addiction that feels preventable.
How big do you think you're going to be?
I don't.
When Amy was alive, I had the sense of that girl Amy Winehouse, who I know and care about, has got a really serious addiction issue and she's definitely going to die. I must do something about it. And obviously was unable to. And watching the film provokes those feelings once more.
I'm not a girl trying to be a star or trying to be anything other than a musician.
Is it intrusive to make a film about someone who's suffering from the disease of addiction, which is, however you look at it, I suppose, a form of mental illness? Is it exploitative that this film was even made? A similar film recently about Kurt Cobain. And what's relatively new, I suppose, is given the way that technology has advanced, that we now have dead icons that were able to be thoroughly represented and documented. And in this Amy documentary, there's footage of her as an adolescent, there's footage of her growing up, so she's literally brought back to life. You're forced to confront her youth, her talent, her beauty, her vulnerability, and it recreated the journey that I had with her at the time of like, oh, this person's interesting and sweet, oh no, this person's hugely, colossally talented and a genius. A genius, I suppose, is when you think, where is that coming from? It doesn't make sense. And then she's really, really ill. And what the story that the film tells, and we don't know if that story is the truth because there's many, many ways of telling the truth, that's what this channel is about, but the story that the film tells is that Amy's death is doubly tragic because there were certainly antagonistic figures in her life that could have done things differently. Now, as an addict, I know that it's very difficult to get someone clean unless they cooperate with you fully. Myself, I got clean though as a result of people going, you are getting clean! like, you know, like almost literally. So like, it's not my role or job to judge anybody, but myself, I feel like if someone had made it crystal clear, even though it was kind of clear to me, Amy's going to die tomorrow, I'd have gone to her house that night, obviously, and stayed there and kicked the door down, done what I needed to do. And I suppose, whilst we don't want to live in a state of franticness, all of us have to acknowledge we're surrounded by vulnerability at all times. Is Amy Winehouse, simply because she was a genius, more valuable than homeless people who suffer from addiction, or your cousin who suffers from addiction, or your dad or your mum with their alcohol problems? The real answer is, of course not. What we have here is the glamorisation of a figure because of their incredible talent and the subsequent glamorisation of their disease. Now, that disease has been glamorised for a long time because there's something about destructiveness, there's something about heroes burning in public that appeals to us as if they should pay a price for having that great gift. There's something appealing about it. But aside from her incredible talent and her terrible disease, Amy Winehouse is just some ordinary Jewish girl from North London. That's all she really is. And there's plenty of ordinary girls suffering from eating disorders, suffering from addiction issues that we could be helping. So what can we take from this film that's of any value? That we ourselves must attune to people's vulnerability and sensitivity, to not be judgmental of people that have eating disorders, addiction issues, but to try and reach out to them compassionately and to be extremely mindful of the habit of our media to kind of drive these people into the ground for entertainment. Look at when any of these young stars, Miley Cyrus, Justin Bieber, the lads from One Direction, whenever there's any kind of public whiff of scandal or entertainment or gossip to be had, what is that energy of the intrigue behind it? What does that energy want? Oh, saying, oh, Lewis has got someone pregnant. Saying he's a Muslim. Miley Cyrus has got a new tattoo. Justin Bieber's crashed the car. It's a death wish that we're projecting on them. And in the case of Amy Winehouse, the media attention undoubtedly contributed to grinding her into the ground. So whether or not you want to blame the people that were around her, one has to say at the end of the day, they're human beings as well, and they're flawed like I was flawed. I could have done more to help Amy Winehouse and didn't. I wish I could have done. But what we can look at is the system that surrounds celebrity and fame is a vampiric, cannibalising system that wants its heroes and heroines dead so it can devour their corpses in public for entertainment. So if you want to change something, change the way that you consume media and be more compassionate to people with illnesses that demonstrate vulnerability, forms of mental illnesses, forms of addiction, whether it be bulimia or addiction in its many other forms, alcoholism and drug use. True News, subscribe here.
Nose is a tool that is abused to fool you and to leave you scared and confused. Trews is like the nose. If the nose was true, I want some Trews. Let's have some Trews.